Good afternoon, everyone. Tractorman44 here. A buddy of mine on the internet, Ben, from a site called Ben's Sawmill, pretty good guy. He's got some very interesting sawmill videos with a bandsaw sawmill. Posed a question yesterday, or maybe even today, I don't remember when. Wondered if people might be interested in some of the projects that people build or off of sawmill lumber. So I thought, well, in response to that, I'll take the liberty to make a couple of small videos and invite him to view them. But at any rate, this here happens to be a project I'm working on at my daughter's house, a total renovation project. We got ready to build a laundry room cabinet, and cabinet ended up being like 80 inches wide and 48 inches tall, so I needed some doors. So we opted to use some sawmill lumber that my dad, myself, and my older brother sawed out of logs off the old home place back in about 1975 when I got home from the Marine Corps. And the result of these four 43 by 18 raised panel doors. They turned out fairly nice. My daughter's just tickled to death with them, and it serves the purpose. So it hides everything she's got inside and looks halfway decent to boot. But that's one example of what you can do with sawmill lumber. All you got to have is a planer and a few other tools, and you can make some pretty neat stuff. Another thing I'm doing right now, I'm working on her stairwell. Like I say, this is a total house renovation, so we still have a mess in some places, so pay no attention to that. But one of the things we've done, we're built a set of stairs, or actually there's 3 sets of stairs. I didn't build them. Those stairs were existing, but I did have to cover them. My son-in-law is a shop teacher, and he made me these, they appear to be butcher block oak stair treads, but what it is, and it is butcher block oak, but it's not what you think. This is actual tractor trailer decking that my wife found on the internet, and I bought from a guy. I bought a whole pile of it from a guy. And my son-in-law, over the course of this summer, while I was busy working down here doing other things, he took the liberty to make me these steps and put the finish on them. Got them ready for me to cut and install. But at any rate, once we got done with that, we realized there was a definite problem. And that problem is when the guy laid out the stairwell, instead of cutting the notches actually in the 2x10s, he just nailed 2x2 cleats on the side and then nailed his OSB subfloor step material right on those cleats. Well, whenever I put these stair treads in and these walnut risers, which incidentally is walnut risers from Walnut that me and my dad and my brother sawed with that original batch of lumber for those doors back in the 70s. But anyway, whenever we got done with installing the steps and the risers, there was this ugly, god-awful looking 1.8 1.25 gap on the edges, just that nasty old 2x10 yellow pine. So my daughter painted them white, to kind of cover them up, but they just don't look good. And so we kind of devised a plan to make some quarter round, some heavy 1.25, 1.125, 1.25 quarter round, and clean that gap up with that. So this is what I did yesterday. I installed these yesterday. And also, we got hardwood throughout most of the house except for in the kitchen. We put Pergo. I think it's a Pergo, similar Pergo product. It's not really Pergo, it's a different brand. But they gave us a stupid composite material threshold, and I cut it, fit it all in there, and worked fine. As soon as I drove the nails in, stepped on, boom, they just pulled right through that composite material. So I had to use that as a pattern and make a walnut threshold. And so instead of using nails, I went ahead and counterboard and put some nice washer-headed screws there to kind of hold everything in place. It's very nice. It ties the walnut risers together with the dark, whatever you want to call that finish on that simulated Pergo in the kitchen. But at any rate, Tractorman44 out. But there are a couple more videos I'm going to take of some other projects too.